Yes, on the 9th instead of the 8th. And we'll get started. So just as a reminder, the City of Bloomington Utilities' mission is to enhance the quality of life in our community by providing safe, sustainable, and high-quality drinking water, wastewater, and stormwater services in a cost-effective manner, promoting public health, economic vitality, and environmental stewardship. And as a reminder to our board members, if any board member has any personal or financial conflict with any issues or individuals on the agenda, then please be sure to recuse yourself during those portions of the meeting. So, to begin, do we have any petitions and communications from the public? All right. Next, we have our approval of the minutes from the March 25th, 2024 meeting. Are there any questions or corrections? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve? So moved. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have approval of the claims, starting with our standard invoices in the amount of $788,692.99. Are there any questions?
Yes.
Yes, please.
I need to show that I recuse, I think, for the IU stuff on page 3 and 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so that would be, yes, pages 3 and 4. For the epidemiology sampling with the wastewater. Yes, thank you. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Yes.
3 questions, all involving the allocation of the cost to a particular utility.
Which page, please?
First one is on
Okay.
page 5.
Thank you.
Noah Campbell training for street sweeper, which would be stormwater, but we do it has the regular 40-60 split between. Thank you. So that was number 1. Number 2 is on the next page, 6. Republic Services, Inc., trash removal at Dillman and Service Center. Service Center, we typically do the 60-40 split or thereabouts, but this is Dillman and Service Center, but the water's actually more, so I didn't know why that was. Yeah, these are more
Housekeeping.
please check.
Yeah.
Please check. The last one's the Roger Group, Stone 11 and Stone 15-water. No, that's not it. It's the, it's the second to last Roger Group Inc. that says Stone 11 and 53 wastewater, and then the expense is almost entirely water construction, so I thought maybe the Stone 11 was the water and the other one, okay. Stone 53 waste. I don't know. If
okay.
You can just check that one then too. Thank you.
We'll get cleared up.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the standard invoices? Is there, thank you. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have utility bills in the amount of $15,502.18. Are there any questions? Okay, hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have wire transfers in the amount of $541,943.80. Are there any questions? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Finally, we have customer refunds in the amount of $15,490.51. Are there any questions? I have a question. We had a customer refund in the amount of like $13,000 and for a duplicate payment, and I just wondered, are there any expenses that we incur for receiving that payment and then sending it back to the customer?
Minimal. I mean, we just transacted it like we do any other payment, so it was just one more check that we did. Among
Okay.
the hundreds of them that we get every day. So.
Okay, so I didn't know if like you know, a $20 reimbursement is different than 13,000, and I didn't know how it, you know, came into our account, if that's been accounted for or something, so.
Yeah, so they paid us twice, and we just received the check twice, and then they
Sure.
caught it, and we sent it back to them.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yep.
All right, are there any other questions? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the customer refunds? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have the consent agenda requesting for approval pending controller and mayoral approval.
I'm presenting tonight's consent agenda totaling $16,281.50. There are 3 contracts, one for American Structure Point for $9,800 to evaluate sanitary sewer flow date around Dunn Meadow. There's one for Bruce Home Improvement for $3,400 to fix our broken garage door at the Dillman plant. And then for Corson and Fire Security for $3,081.50 to maintain and update our fire equipment at all 3 plants. Is there any member who wishes to consider one or more of these items individually? Hearing none, if there is no opposition, these items will be approved as recommended by staff. Hearing no opposition, the consent agenda is approved pending controller and mayoral approval.
Thank you. All right. Next, we have request for approval for consulting study contract on Blucher Pool wastewater treatment plant improvements with Black and Beach Corporation, Dan Hudson. And just this will be pending approval from the controller and mayor.
For the record, I'm Dan Hudson, Capital Projects Manager, City of Bloomington Utilities. And I'd like the board to consider a contract with the Black and Beach Corporation for a study at the Blucher Pool wastewater treatment plant. This study would include evaluation of the upgrades of the sludge dewatering system, evaluation of drainage upgrades to the existing clarifiers, evaluation to the improvements of the aeration system, including converting aeration basin number 1 to an aerobic digester, evaluation of the whole plant hydraulic capacity, and updating the plant's capital improvement plan. That would be for $210,490. I'm open to entertain any questions from the board.
I'm very interested about the capital improvement plan
Yes.
outcome of this study.
Yes, I am too. That's primarily for the next evaluation from the URIC, is that what?
IURC?
Yes,
The
right.
water, the rate case?
Right.
Okay.
And also for the next 5 years, we'd like to have some good cost on the capital improvements for it. I'd like to add the sludge dewatering. We're looking at different technologies there. We currently have 2 belt presses, and we're looking at different technology to do that at this time.
Okay, thank you. Other-
And the plant capacity, I want to
Yeah.
add that. That plant, we are expecting a significant growth on the north side of Bloomington. And so we want to make sure that the plant has enough capacity for that for the next 20 years, 30 years.
Absolutely, yeah, thank you. Other questions or comments? All right, hearing done, do we have a motion to approve consulting study contract on the Blucher Pool wastewater treatment plant improvements with Black and Beach Corporation pending controller and mayoral approval? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have a request for approval for agreement with Black and Beach Corporation for visual inspection of Red Bud Tank, Southeast Tank, and Southwest Tank pending controller and mayoral approval. Yes, Kevin White.
Yeah, Kevin White, Capital Projects Coordinator. Amanda said it right, or Megan said it right, I apologize. We are Looking to do 3 more water tank inspections this year. We did 3 last year, 3 this year, and then if we do 3 more next year, we'll be kind of caught up on the best management practices of inspecting them every 3 to 5 years. Then it will go to incorporating the rehabs and the paintings that are all called out in these reports. So that's kind of the process for this. But this is just basically a visual inspection of the inside and outside of the 3 water tanks, Redbud, Southeast, and Southwest tanks. I'm open to any questions.
Thank you. Yes?
Hey, when you do that, you have to drain the tanks?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, so kind of do that in the summer when there's, the demand is at a good point? or-
Absolutely, and especially with Redbud. So Redbud is kind of what dictates the pressure throughout campus. So we're going to try and time that one for the days subsequently following students moving out. So that's the big one to really do. And yes, our goal is to start in the spring, 1st of May with that one, and then get these done before any chance of cold weather.
And then you keep an eye on making sure that other tanks are at capacity in case we need it for fire protection and that sort of thing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you. Other questions? All right, hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the agreement with Black and Veatch Corporation for visual inspection of Redbud Tank, Southeast Tank, and Southwest Tank, pending controller and mayoral approval? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is a request for approval for agreement for on-call services with Wessler Engineering. Jill Miner. Thank you. And this is set to go through. Thank you.
Hello, Jill Miner with Administration Department. I request approval for the agreement for on-call services with Wessler Engineering in the sum of $25,000 for the next year. It might not get spent, but we know we need them when we need them.
Yeah, okay. Questions for Jill? All right, hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the agreement for on-call services with Wessler Engineering? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank
Thank you.
you. All right, moving on. Old business. Is there any old business from the board? Old business from staff? New business from the board? I do. Okay, so a few things. First of all, we had a customer reach out to the board through a letter with their bill, and we just wanted to acknowledge that their concerns had reached us. They requested that the billing be done like some of the other utilities, like gas and electric, which is it's not an estimated bill, but it would be a numeric reading. And our billing will bill for, say, if you spend 1,000 gallons, you bill for 1,000 up to 1,999, and then 2,000, then you would be billed for 2,000 gallons up to $29.99. And so that is a very common practice with other water utilities in the state, and so that is why we do that way. But we very much appreciate them reaching out and encourage all of our customers, if you have questions or concerns, please let us know, let our staff know. We appreciate Frank for reaching out to the customer as well and following up and providing additional information. And any public is always welcome to come. We have public comment at the beginning of the meeting and at the end. So wanted to address that. Next, I wanted to thank our entire staff for all of the eclipse preparations. Yesterday was fantastic, and I hope that everyone had an opportunity to go outside and view the totality, because it was just like a wow, 4 minutes and really something. And fortunately, we didn't have the 300,000 people that were anticipated, but we sure wouldn't have wanted to been unprepared and have those people show up. And so I know that there was a lot of time and effort and went into those plans, and I'm sure that that's good practice for events that may pop up unexpectedly. And so we appreciate everyone's time, and especially the folks who were here yesterday working, different shifts and things. And so thank you to our staff. And then finally, I had just asked about it, so I'll just bring it up here. I know that we had, our mowing had come up as a possible contract at our last meeting, and then it didn't come through because the estimates were higher than what our board would approve without a bidding process. And so I know that, that we anticipate that will be coming, and I'm sorry if you told me the answer and I don't remember, but so how are our properties being mowed right now until we have that contract in place? Okay. All right, and then,
Back that out.
yes. Thank you. And then we remembered that we'd purchased a mower.
Yeah. Sometime, and correct me if I'm wrong, sometimes since I've been on the board, in the last 2 years, we purchased a zero-turn mower that had a remote control, and we were really proud of this purchase.
We still have that. We use that to mow the dam at Griffey. So nobody has to
It stays there.
drive
Yeah.
a lawnmower on that slope.
Okay, so then that mowing wouldn't be part of the contract
Correct.
because we do that internally?
That's my understanding, yeah.
Okay. And then I guess a question would be, at what point would it be, maybe we would consider mowing in-house? I know that would be like a seasonal job, like March through November, depending. Or consider a contract with parks or something when we're looking at significant amount of funds just for mowing our properties. I know that our resources here are, everybody has a job that they're coming here to do every day, so there's not time for that, but just a thought, so.
Well, we did do it in-house until last year's contract.
Okay,
And then so
yes,
we looked at the work that it took for us to have lawnmowers, store the lawnmowers, find the part-time people to work in the summer, make sure that they're qualified and they're being safe. And what we decided was that it made more sense just to have somebody come and do it. So there was a thought process behind it.
yes,
Your point is very fair, and we did have that conversation. But we also did have somebody drive a lawnmower to the lake, so.
right. Well, I guess considering that the initial bids before we realized that we needed to do something different came in like 50% more than they were last year, 100, I don't know how the math works, but significantly more than last year, then I just wondered if that gave, pause for consideration for, we'll reassess when we see those bids, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, all right. That was all my new business. Anybody else? Yeah. Okay, like
Sometimes I don't
literally
hear.
drove it? Like rode it from here? Okay.
But they were mowing the lawn in the
Okay.
lake, yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant they just took like a ride down
No,
Fairfax
they were
on the
mowing our
mower.
property. No, they were mowing our property.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Oh, yes,
I just want to comment on that.
Yeah.
This is it's just a very complex problem right now, I think, everywhere. You look at property owners, mowing jobs is it's a seasonal job, and many times they complement that with snow removal. So it's very tough to get contractors to agree to it. And I don't believe we have a good surplus of them even in town. So you guys are feeling the same crunch that other businesses are also feeling. So if the costs are a little bit more expensive, it is kind of a sign of the times right now. Even for them to get temporary employees that are going to get trained on how to use their equipment and not drive into the lake.
Yeah.
So I feel for you, and I do hope that we can find some, if we have to find some solutions this summer, we just
Yeah.
have to, but it's something that we're dealing with citywide.
yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Other comments? Okay. Is there any new business from staff? All right. Subcommittee reports. Seth?
The engineering subcommittee met today. Engineering staff put together an analysis on the impacts of the cure-in-place pipe, CIPP lining, on the inflow and infiltration of the sanitary system for the city. They presented quantitative impacts of the lining projects over the last 20 years, as well as past data collections, concerns, and improvements resulting from the study. I utilized fixed effects regression model in place of traditional analysis. The study suggests that lining does have a reduction in infiltration, but due to the data collection issues, the magnitude is inconclusive. One of the key points that I took from it is that the SSOs have reduced dramatically in the last 15 years, I believe, was the timeline, from the 70s to the single digits. So that's the sanitary sewer overflows, which when you have to ionize, it causes backups and causes concerns. And so we know it works, we just don't know the data behind it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions? Yes, please.
Staff reports we missed. We
Oh.
do have another new employee on board. We have Mark Menifee as our third engineer.
Welcome.
He started 2 weeks ago, is that correct? Yep. And Mark came from IU and has quite a bit of experience in plant management, so we're excited to have him.
Great, thank you. Welcome. Yes, okay, so are there any comments about the subcommittee report? Yes.
I just want to confirm that the next subcommittee report, the next subcommittee meeting is on the 23rd, and that's environmental, or is that? Yeah. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Which
Okay.
just happens to be Earth Day, which,
It's your, whose birthday?
I said Earth Day,
Oh,
the Earth's Day.
Well, we'll
Earth's
celebrate
birthday.
anyway,
It's the
okay.
Earth's birthday.
Earth Day, okay.
So anyway, okay, thank you.
Okay, okay, Earth Day, I'm gonna write that down. All right. Okay, thank you. Now, staff reports, yes.
I just wanted to echo your appreciation for the staff. I had occasion to visit several of our facilities on Monday morning, and all staffers were, well, we were staffed at essential personnel. All staffers were in place and working, and actually ran into the mayor at the water plant. So that went very well. We did actually have a main break on Monday morning.
Okay.
And that went with, we have an excellent maintenance staff, and that went very well and very quickly. It happened, we actually waited for line locates longer than it took to do the repair. So
Great.
my thanks to that staff, and the day went very well for all of us, I think.
Yes, thank you. Any other staff reports?
James Sisman as our new meter service person, Pat Sanchez to our customer relations team, Brandon Bray and Joseph Gibson as utility specialists in T&D, Brianna Hume as a water quality specialist, and we already met Mark, our new engineer. Also, we had a few internal moves. Kason Page is our first MS4 inspector. Emily Tate moved into the operations coordinator position for T&D. Cassie Allen moved from an operator to assistant superintendent at Monroe. Paul Edwards is our newest assistant superintendent in T&D. And Jason Benning taught a class at the statewide training for the Indiana Pretreatment Committee. Jason Lasher got his wastewater class 2 certification. Cassie Allen again got her water treatment 5 certification. And Matt Daberton is now a certified backflow prevention tester.
Awesome. I think that deserves a round of applause. All these great things going on here at the CBU. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Do we have any petitions and communications from the public? All right. Hearing none. Do we have a motion to adjourn? All right. The meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.